Good morning, students. Today I have decided to make video for class 10, and this time I have selected the book First Flight and the second prose Nelson Mandela Long Walk to Freedom, as you can see on the screen. Okay, now before I start this chapter, let me tell you something about apartheid. The very famous term you can see here near before you read, the word is apartheid. What is apartheid? Apartheid is a political system that separates people according to their race. On the basis of race, people are classified. Race means the color of skin. Okay, so it's a system with which people are divided on the basis of their color. So South Africa was one of the country in which apartheid was implemented, and with the help of Nelson Mandela, it was abolished there. So let me tell you something about the story, what the story is all about. Nelson Mandela occupies the same position in South Africa as Gandhiji did in India. So Nelson Mandela in South Africa, Gandhiji in India played the same role and dominance. He has spent a lifetime fighting against racial discrimination of the white rulers. So, the country, South Africa, belonged to the blacks but was dominated by white skinned Europeans. So, initially, the people of South Africa had to face a lot of discriminations in South Africa, but free election was held in 1994, and Mandela became the first black president of New India. So the inauguration ceremony took place in Pretoria. So in this chapter we will read about how Mandela becomes South Africa's first black president and how the inauguration ceremony was held in Pretoria. It was attended by political leaders from more than 140 countries. More than 1 lakh South African of all races sang and danced with joy. Okay, so it was, you can say it was a historic occasion. The inauguration of new nation freed from slavery. The recall how South African planes flew a new government. The military general saluted him. 2 national anthems were played. Remember, 2 national anthems were played. Now, coming to the summary, what the chapter is all about. Now, 10th May, it was held on the date 10th May in 1994. So, because he became the first black president in 1994, and South Africa was under the rule of European white people for more than 3 centuries. So, in his autobiography, he speaks about the inauguration ceremony. It was attended by many dignitaries and important personalities all over the world from more than 140 countries. Okay, so it was held where? In amphitheater. It was held in amphitheater in Pretoria. Okay, now South Africa got its independence through sacrifices of thousands of people. Nelson is pained to think that he could not thank those patriots. The white rule created a deep and lasting wound in Mandela's country and his people, but it brought forth men of extraordinary courage and wisdom. His country says Mandela has lots of minerals and gems, but the real wealth of nation is its people. Now, Mandela says that every man has 2 sets of duties. One is towards his relatives, families, and other is towards his people and his country. Every man on this earth has to follow 2 duties. One duty is his obligation towards his family members, parents, relatives, children, and second obligation is towards his nation, his society, his people. Okay, and it is important for everyone to complete these two responsibilities. But in South Africa, it was impossible for the black to fulfill either. If anybody attempted to live as a normal human being, he was punished and sent to jail. Mandela himself was in fact born free to run in the field and swim in the stream. Then he began to learn that his boyhood freedom was not the real one. So, Mandela slowly and slowly realized that he is not free enough to complete, to execute his two duties or either of the duties. When he started growing to boyhood, he realized that he is not getting the freedom. He began to develop hunger for it. As a student, he wanted freedom only for himself, freedom to do, read what he pleased. As a young man, he longed for freedom to grow, to earn, to have a family. But he discovered that he was not really free to live even a lawful life. He also learned that he alone had not been robbed of his freedom. Everyone else was also be a victim of an unjust system. That was when he joined the African National Congress. Remember, he joined African National Congress. Okay. So after joining African National Congress, he wanted his people to live their life with dignity and self-respect. He acted boldly, but the law made him lose his home freedom of movement. He was treated as a criminal. All the colored people in his country were in chains, but he bore no ill will. He pitied those who oppressed others. They themselves were prisoners of hatred, prejudice, and narrow mindedness. So, basically, in this chapter, you are going to read about what was happening in South Africa, what was apartheid, and how the people were suffering. How the people were suffering of the racial discrimination. But when Nelson Mandela got selected, then he abandoned everything and people started living. Okay, so this is in this chapter, this is an excerpt from his biography, and you will read how the inauguration ceremony was held. Now, do the exercises. I have provided you the notes, everything. Now, coming to the poem, A Tiger in the Zoo. It's very important poem, and in the syllabus, A Tiger in the Zoo. So, a tiger. Very well you know that tiger is a wild animal. Tiger is a wild animal. It's a carnivorous animal. So, tiger is not meant to be kept in zoo, to be kept in cage. So, tigers should be left free. So, what we are going to read in this poem, let's start. Okay. Now, coming to some of the important words. Stalks. The first line, he stalks. Stalks means walking with pride, vivid, bright and striking. Okay. Vivid means bright and striking. Stripes, long bands, pads, cushioned feet. Rage. Rage means anger. Lurking, hiding, to escape. Sliding, slipping. Plump, fat and healthy. Okay. So, these were the words from the first two paragraphs. Coming to the third stanza. He stood to village. Important words are snarling. Snarling means growling. Okay. Edge, border. Baining, sewing up. Fangs, teeth. Claws, feet of animal. Terrorizing means frightening. Coming to the last two extracts, we will find the words locked, imprisoned. Concrete, solid. Cell, small room. Bars, the iron cage. Stalking, walking with pride. Ignoring, unminding. Patrolling, going round at night for protection by the police. Stairs means to look. Now, coming to the poem. So, a tiger is a large, fierce and most powerful animal of the cat family. You know it very well. He has yellowish and black stripes. He is the king of the jungle, but he is caught and put in the cage in a zoo for the benefit of the visitors. Okay. With the yellowish bright bands on his body, the tiger walks proudly in his small enclosure. He is boiling with anger within, but he is helpless. His feet have got soft, velvety pads or cushion that make no sound. So, he stalks in his vivid stripes. The tiger stalks, walks, okay, the few steps of his cage, because the tiger is locked in the cage on pads of velvet quiet in his quiet rays. The tiger is very angry. Why? Because the tiger is locked up in a cage, but he is helpless. He cannot do anything. So he is walking the length of the cage. What is the expectation? Coming to second extract. The second extract says that he should be lurking in shadow. Okay, lurking. What I had said, lurking means hiding. Lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass near the water hole where plump deer pass. He should be free. He should not be kept in the zoo. He should be doing hunting near the water holes for plump deer, fat deer. He should be snarling around houses at the jungle's edge. He should be snarling, shouting, growling in the jungle, baring his white fangs, showing his white teeth, his claws, and terrorizing the village. He should terrorize the village. But see, the first extract, the tiger is in the cage. Second extract, he should be in jungle. Third extract, he should be in the jungle. But the fourth one says, the real scenario, he is locked up in a concrete cell. His strength behind bars, and his strength is behind the iron bars, stalking the length of his cage, ignoring visitors. So he is ignoring the visitors. He is fed up of the visitors. Why visitors? How visitors? When the lion, when the tiger, when any wild animal is kept up in a zoo, then what happens? People come, the visitors come to see, and the tiger is fed up, ignoring the visitors. So he hears the last voice at night, the patrolling car, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. So the poor creature is shut up in a strong and small concrete room. He is kept in an iron cage at the zoo. He paces across the small length of the cage proudly. He doesn't care for a fig for the visitors. So finally what happens? The free beast prowls at night, walks. He is used to the movement of the patrol car. During midnight, he is only able to listen the sound of the car, patrolling car. He feels secure after the car completes the last round. Then he turns his gleaming eyes to the brilliant star. So with his brilliant eyes, he looks the brilliant star, and he just cries on his fate. Okay. So the poem composed by Leslie Norris. Okay. Thank you, students.